Welcome to our spine-chilling journey through 15 most haunted places in Austria. From eerie castles to ghostly palaces, Austria is home to some of the most terrifying and haunted locations in Europe. Get ready for a tour of haunted sites with dark histories, eerie legends, and encounters with restless spirits that continue to haunt these places to this day. 1. Musham Castle, Schloss Moosham, Salzburg. Nestled deep in the misty forests of Salzburg, Moosham Castle, often called the Witch's Castle, carries the weight of a dark and haunted past. In the 17th century, this imposing fortress was the site of countless witch trials, where innocent men and women were mercilessly tortured and executed. Their screams still echo through the castle's stone walls. On moonlit nights, visitors have reported chilling sounds of chains rattling, as if the souls of the condemned are still bound in their torment. The courtyard, where many were put to death, is said to be the most cursed, with ghostly figures seen wandering aimlessly, their eyes filled with sorrow and rage. But the most terrifying encounter is said to be in the dungeon, where the tortured spirits seem to reach out from the shadows, their icy hands brushing against the skin of anyone who dares to venture too close. Those who have braved the castle's dark corners speak of a suffocating atmosphere, a sense that you are being watched, and a foreboding presence that refuses to let go. Musham Castle is not just a place of history, it's a realm where the past's horrors refuse to die, forever haunting the living with their restless souls. 2. Burg Kreuzenstein, Lower Austria. Burg Kreuzenstein, a magnificent medieval castle perched atop a hill in Lower Austria, has long been shrouded in mystery and fear. Despite its beauty and impressive architecture, the castle hides a dark secret. The ghost of a former owner who met a tragic and untimely death is said to roam the halls at night, forever trapped in a restless state. Visitors report hearing eerie footsteps echoing through the stone corridors, though no one is ever seen. The air grows heavy with an oppressive feeling, as if something unseen is lurking just out of sight. Shadows flicker in the dim light, moving in unnatural ways, as if they have a life of their own. The chilling sensation of being watched grips those who dare to explore the castle after dark. Some say the restless spirit of the former owner seeks vengeance for an unfulfilled promise, wandering endlessly, unable to find peace. The most unsettling sightings occur in the castle's tower, where a shadowy figure appears at the window, staring out over the land with cold, empty eyes. It is said that anyone who gazes into those eyes feels an overwhelming sense of dread, as if they too are being pulled into the eternal darkness of Burg Kreuzenstein. 3. Mayerling Hunting Lodge, Lower Austria. The Mayerling Hunting Lodge, a peaceful retreat surrounded by the serene forests of Lower Austria, hides a tragic and chilling tale that continues to haunt its walls. In 1889, the lodge became the site of the mysterious deaths of Crown Prince Rudolf and his lover, Baroness Mary Vetsera. The circumstances surrounding their demise remain shrouded in secrecy, with some claiming it was a murder-suicide, while others whisper of a political cover-up. Since that fateful day, the lodge has been plagued by an unsettling presence. Visitors often report the feeling of an oppressive weight in the air, as if the tragic events of that day are still unfolding. The spirits of the ill-fated lovers are said to wander the rooms, their figures appearing at the windows or in the shadows. The most disturbing phenomenon occurs in the room where they died. It is said that the ghostly sounds of soft whispers and the faint sound of a woman's sobs can be heard late at night, as though Mary Vetsera is mourning her untimely death. Those who have ventured into the area at night often claim to feel an icy chill brush past them, followed by an overwhelming sense of sorrow and despair. Mayerling is a place frozen in time, forever haunted by the restless spirits of a love that ended in tragedy. 4. Hereiskirche Museum, Museum of Military History, Vienna. The Hereiskirche Museum in Vienna, known for its vast collection of military artifacts, stands as a chilling reminder of the violence and bloodshed that shaped history. The museum is housed in a grand building that once served as a military arsenal, but it is far from just a place of historical education. Many believe it is a battleground for the restless spirits of those who perished in war. Whispers of phantom footsteps echo through the corridors, particularly around exhibits that depict violent battles and grisly wars. Some visitors claim to feel a sudden drop in temperature near the sections dedicated to the Great Wars, as if the souls of fallen soldiers are lingering, trapped in the horrors of their past. On rare occasions, the soft sound of marching feet and distant cries of soldiers can be heard, as though an army of lost souls is moving through the halls. The most unsettling encounters occur in the basement of the museum, where the eerie sensation of being watched is overwhelming. Several people have reported the sudden feeling of being followed, with the faint impression of unseen figures closing in on them from the shadows. The museum, with its dark history and heavy atmosphere, serves as a grim reminder that the spirits of war never truly rest. 5. Ambrus Castle, Innsbruck. Ambrus Castle, perched high above Innsbruck, is a magnificent structure known for its Renaissance charm and its dark, haunted past. The castle, once home to the powerful Archduke Ferdinand II, has been the site of countless unsettling encounters. One of the most persistent spirits said to haunt the castle is that of Philippine Welser, Ferdinand's wife. After her death, it is rumored that her spirit never found peace, lingering around the castle where she spent much of her life. Visitors have reported seeing her spectral figure near her portraits, her ghostly image appearing as if she is still watching over the place she once loved. The atmosphere grows cold near the gallery, where her presence is most strongly felt, and those who have dared to enter the room at night have reported hearing the soft rustling of a gown or the faint sound of footsteps following them. Some even claim to see her pale, sorrowful face staring out from the paintings, her eyes following them as they move. The castle itself seems alive with her restless energy, and the walls of Ambrus echo with the whispers of an age-old grief. The haunting presence of Philippine Welser is a reminder that in Ambrus Castle, the line between the living and the dead is never truly clear. 6. Schloss Ort, Gmunden. Set on a small island in the serene waters of Lake Tronsee, Schloss Ort is a picturesque castle that holds a sinister secret beneath its beauty. This charming fortress, surrounded by tranquil landscapes, has long been rumored to be haunted by the ghost of a woman in white. The spectral figure is said to wander the halls, her pale, translucent form gliding through the castle, always just out of reach. It is believed that she is the restless spirit of a noblewoman who met a tragic end. Some versions of the legend claim she drowned in the lake, while others say she was betrayed and murdered within the castle walls. Visitors have reported seeing her wandering the corridors near the castle's tower, where the water reflects her ghostly image under the moonlight. The most chilling accounts come from those who have ventured near the castle at night, whispers of her soft footsteps echoing across the stone floors, followed by an overwhelming sense of sadness and longing. As the mist rises from the lake, the woman in white is said to appear at the water's edge, staring out at the horizon as if waiting for a lost love that will never return. Schloss Ort, despite its serene exterior, remains a place where the boundary between life and death blurs, forever haunted by the sorrowful figure of the woman in white. 7. Carlskirche, Vienna. The grandiose Carlskirche in Vienna, with its towering dome and intricate Baroque architecture, is a stunning testament to the city's religious heritage. Yet beneath its beauty lies a chilling history of suffering and death. During the 18th century, the church became a burial site for victims of the plague, and it is said that the spirits of those who died in agony still linger within its walls. As the evening light fades and the last visitors leave, strange occurrences begin to unfold. Many who have ventured into the church at night speak of a sudden, oppressive cold that fills the air, the sensation of being watched by unseen eyes. Some report hearing whispers, soft and indistinct, that seem to rise from the very stones of the church. The most unsettling encounters are near the crypts, where the bodies of plague victims were hastily buried. There, the faint sound of coughing and labored breathing can sometimes be heard, as if the dead are reliving their final moments. A sense of unease lingers in the air, as though the restless spirits are trapped, unable to find peace. The once sacred halls of Carlskirche are now a place where the dead refuse to rest, and their haunting presence serves as a grim reminder of a time long past. 8. Mundorf Castle, Salzburg. Mundorf Castle, a towering fortress nestled in the picturesque Salzburg Alps, has witnessed centuries of conflict and suffering. Once a strategic military stronghold, it now stands as a monument to the eerie remnants of its violent past. The castle's dark history is filled with tales of imprisonment, torture, and executions, and it is said that the souls of those who perished here still haunt its cold, stone walls. Visitors often report an unsettling chill as they approach the dungeons, where the ghosts of long-dead prisoners seem to linger, their tortured cries echoing in the silence. Cold spots appear unexpectedly in the castle's corridors, and some have felt as though they are being watched, their every move tracked by unseen eyes. In the dead of night, the faint sound of chains dragging across the stone floors can sometimes be heard, as if the tormented spirits are still bound to the place where they once suffered. The most terrifying encounters happen in the dungeons, where a suffocating sense of dread fills the air. Several visitors have claimed to see shadowy figures moving in the darkness, their faces contorted in agony, and some even report being touched by icy hands as they explore the dungeon's depths. Mundorf Castle is not just a relic of the past. Its haunted halls are a chilling reminder of the spirits that still roam, bound by the horrors of history. 9. Hellbrun Palace, Salzburg. Hellbrun Palace, famous for its whimsical trick fountains and beautiful gardens, harbors a darker, more sinister side that many visitors are unaware of. While its fountains entertain with playful water displays, there is an unsettling atmosphere that lingers around the estate, particularly after dusk. It is said that the ghost of an unknown nobleman haunts the palace grounds, forever bound to the land he once ruled. His spirit is believed to be that of a cruel and mysterious figure, whose death remains shrouded in secrecy. Over the years, reports of strange sightings have emerged, figures moving in and out of the shadows, often near the fountains and garden paths. Visitors who wander the palace grounds at night sometimes claim to feel a sudden coldness, a heavy presence that follows them through the darkened corridors. The most chilling reports come from the lower levels of the palace, where the atmosphere seems thick with a malevolent force. Whispers and hushed voices echo through the stone walls, though no one is ever seen. Some believe that the ghost of the nobleman continues to haunt Hellbrun Palace, seeking revenge for his untimely death, forever lingering in the quiet corners of the estate. With each passing year, the palace grows darker, its playful fountains overshadowed by the lingering terror that waits within the shadows. 10. Schönbrunn Palace, Vienna. Schönbrunn Palace, one of Vienna's most stunning landmarks, is renowned for its opulent architecture and grand history. Yet beneath its majestic facade, the palace hides a chilling secret. It is said to be haunted by the restless spirit of Empress Elizabeth, known as Sisi, whose tragic life and untimely death have left a permanent mark on the palace. Empress Elizabeth, beloved yet isolated, spent many years at Schönbrunn, and her spirit is believed to wander its halls, still searching for peace. Visitors often report feeling an overwhelming sense of sadness as they enter her former rooms, where the air is thick with a sorrowful energy. The most unsettling occurrences happen late at night, when the palace is empty and still. The soft sound of footsteps, faint but unmistakable, can be heard echoing through the corridors, accompanied by a cold breeze that sweeps through the otherwise warm rooms. In the gardens, where Sisi often walked alone, some claim to see a shadowy figure dressed in mourning attire, her face obscured by a veil. Others have felt a sudden, inexplicable chill as they pass near her former chambers, as if the Empress herself is watching them from the shadows. Schönbrunn Palace, despite its beauty, is forever haunted by the ghost of Empress Elizabeth, whose tragic spirit can never truly leave the place she once called home. 11. Zentralfriedhof, Central Cemetery, Vienna. The Zentralfriedhof, Vienna's vast and somber central cemetery, is not only the final resting place of many notable figures, but also a place where the living can feel the heavy presence of the dead. One of the largest cemeteries in Europe, it holds countless stories of sorrow and loss, and those who wander its grounds often experience a strange, unsettling energy. As dusk falls, a thick fog often rolls over the gravestones, casting an eerie silence over the entire cemetery. It is in these moments that the restless spirits of the departed seem to stir. The sounds of footsteps, slow and deliberate, can be heard on the gravel paths, though no one is seen. Many claim to have glimpsed shadowy figures moving among the gravestones, always just out of clear view, vanishing as quickly as they appear. Some have even felt the unmistakable sensation of cold fingers brushing their skin, or the sudden pressure of invisible hands on their shoulders. The cemetery is home to several famous graves, including those of composers like Beethoven and Schubert, and it is here, near these graves, that the most unnerving occurrences happen. Whispers can be heard, and some say they are the voices of the departed, still lingering in their final resting places, reaching out to the living in search of something lost long ago. The Zentralfriedhof is a place where the past never fully fades, and the spirits of the dead continue to roam. 12. Salzburg Castle, Lower Austria. Salzburg Castle, a stunning Renaissance fortress in Lower Austria, is a place steeped in history, but it is also a site of unsettling supernatural occurrences. The castle, once home to powerful noble families, has witnessed centuries of conflict, tragedy, and loss, and the spirits of those who suffered here seem to still linger within its ancient walls. It is said that the restless ghost of a former owner roams the halls, mourning the loss of his family and the destruction of his legacy. His apparition is often seen in the late evening, drifting through the castle's grand rooms, his face full of sorrow and regret. Visitors who have ventured into the castle at night report feeling a sudden, intense sadness, as though the weight of the past has been passed on to them. Some claim to have seen a shadowy figure standing in the castle's tower, staring out at the land below, while others have felt an invisible presence watching them from the corners of the rooms. The most chilling experience happens in the castle's inner courtyard, where a cold wind seems to blow without reason, carrying with it whispers that no one can quite understand. Those who dare to stay late report hearing the faint sound of a man's voice, low and mournful, echoing through the halls. Salzburg Castle is a place where history never truly ends, and the spirits of the past continue to haunt its stone walls, trapped in an endless cycle of grief and remembrance. 13. Kapuzinergruft, Imperial Crypt, Vienna. Beneath the city of Vienna, hidden away in the shadowy depths of the Kapuzinergruft, lies the final resting place of Austria's most powerful emperors and empresses. Though it may seem like a peaceful sanctuary, the Imperial Crypt is far from quiet. Its cold stone walls house the remains of the Habsburg dynasty, but it is rumored that the spirits of these long-departed rulers have never truly found rest. Visitors who venture into the crypt often report an overwhelming sense of unease, as if the dead are still watching. The air feels thick with a chilling presence, and an eerie silence blankets the space, only broken by the soft, rhythmic echoes of footsteps that seem to come from nowhere. The most unsettling phenomenon occurs near the sarcophagi of the emperors and empresses. Several visitors have reported seeing faint ethereal figures hovering near the graves, their faces blurred, their eyes glowing with a haunting intensity. Whispers barely audible have been heard in the stillness, as though the spirits are speaking to each other from the other side. The temperature in the crypt often drops unexpectedly, causing an unnatural chill that lingers on the skin. Those brave enough to stay longer claim to hear the faint rustling of cloaks and the soft murmur of voices from the shadows. The Kapuzinergruft, a solemn and sacred place, is a silent reminder that even the mighty Habsburgs cannot escape the haunting grasp of death. 14. Salzburg Cathedral, Salzburg. Salzburg Cathedral, an architectural marvel that dominates the city's skyline, has long been a place of worship and reverence. Yet beneath its majestic exterior, this sacred space harbors a dark and eerie secret. The cathedral is said to be haunted by the spirits of those who perished in the violent wars and tragedies of the past. Among the most chilling legends is that of a mysterious organist who died suddenly during a performance, his spirit believed to be trapped within the cathedral's ancient walls. Late at night, when the cathedral is silent and empty, visitors often hear the faint, ghostly strains of an organ playing, despite the instrument being untouched. The music, mournful and haunting, drifts through the grand halls, echoing off the stone walls, as though the organist is still performing. Others have reported seeing ghostly figures in the cathedral's darkened corners, their outlines barely visible in the dim light. Some claim to have seen a shadowy figure near the altar, its eyes glowing with an otherworldly light. The atmosphere in the cathedral shifts in these moments, growing cold and oppressive, as though the very air itself is thick with the presence of the dead. The most unsettling experiences occur near the crypt, where the souls of the departed are said to stir, their restless energy lingering in the cool, shadow-filled space. Salzburg Cathedral is not just a place of worship, it is a sanctuary for the dead, whose spirits refuse to leave, forever entwined with the history of this ancient haunted place. 15. Leinzer Tiergarten, Hermes Villa, Vienna. Deep within the lush forest of Leinzer Tiergarten lies Hermes Villa, a secluded palace that was once a peaceful retreat for Empress Elizabeth, known as Sisi. Today, the villa is a place of eerie stillness, where whispers of the past are never far away. It is said that the spirit of Empress Elizabeth, who adored this tranquil sanctuary, continues to haunt the palace even in death. Her ghost is often seen wandering the gardens and the quiet halls of the villa, her figure draped in mourning attire, her face filled with sorrow. Those who visit the villa at dusk report a sudden drop in temperature, as if the very air becomes heavy with grief. The faint rustling of fabric is heard in the silent corridors, followed by the unmistakable sound of footsteps, soft and measured, as if someone is pacing restlessly through the empty rooms. In the gardens, where Sisi once found solace, her apparition has been spotted walking along the paths, her gaze lost in thought, as though she is waiting for something or someone to return. The most unsettling experience comes when the sun sets and the light fades, casting long shadows across the villa. It is in these moments that the presence of the Empress is most strongly felt, as though she is still lingering, trapped between life and death, unable to leave the place she loved so dearly. Hermes Villa, once a peaceful retreat, is now a haunted reminder of the Empress's tragic fate, forever haunted by her restless spirit. Thank you for joining us on this terrifying tour of the 15 most haunted places in Austria. If these ghostly legends sent chills down your spine, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. Stay tuned for more chilling stories from haunted locations around the world.